Should be live now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Quiz World Series Grand Final. Hope everyone enjoys the new fancy stream overlay layout we've got. So in the middle, you can see the scores. In the top left, we've got the player in seat 1, Jacob Myers. Top right, we've got Oliver Levy, who's in seat 2. Bottom left, we've got the player in seat 3, Tim Polly. And bottom right, we've got Ian Toms, and who is playing in seat 4. So I hope everyone can hear me. Everyone looks to be framed delightfully well. If you just don't mind introducing yourselves one by one, similar to what we had in the previews, just starting with Jacob, just sort of name, where you're based. That's all you can ask for. Great. So, Jacob.
I'm Jacob Myers. I'm based everywhere, but I currently live in East Lansing, Michigan, where I'm a student at Michigan State University. Um, so yeah,
Great. Oliver.
I'm Oliver Levy. I'm based in southeast London,
Tim.
sunny England.
Sunny England, yes. Tim.
I'm Tim Polly. I'm originally from California, but I live in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and I'm a computer engineering student.
Great. And Ian.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'm from Essex, and I'm hoping age will be an advantage.
So, yeah. So just before we start, I'd like to give some shout outs. So first of all, to everyone who played and made this the largest Mimi Well event yet. We had over 256 players if you count dropouts and add-in mid-season add-ins. So and along the way, I've got to thank everyone who helped to read, because me, George, and Dowd can't read 60 games a week, however much we would like to. So thanks to all the players who signed up to read, and I'm sure you weren't just doing it for the GC discount for the Snowdrop League, which starts in just 1 week. There's still time to sign up. The link you can find below, or you can go to mimizwell.co.uk. I want to thank, obviously, George Charlson and Dad Jackson for co-writing all the questions with me, and for Camilla Chen for helping to proofread. And that's all the announcements I've got. Hope everyone's strapped in and ready for another rollicking final. Got several returners and new faces here, so should be exciting. And you can see the bonus order in the just below the scores rather than above this time. So that's what's that. All right. So if everyone's ready, round 1, question 1 for Jacob. Which jail in Dublin is likely best known as the location where participants of the Easter Rising were locked up, and in some cases, killed?
is this Kilmainham?
Correct. Kilmainham Jail. Question 2. Who directed the 2003 film Dogville, which starred Nicole Kidman and Paul Bettany?
That's all I get.
Yep.
Can you repeat the title of the film?
Dogville. Dogville.
Slightly before my time. I don't know.
10 seconds.
Maybe Pierre Coffin.
Wrong. Oliver?
Lars von Trier.
Correct. Lars von Trier directed Dogville. And question 3 for Jacob. With Stanislav Ulam and John von Neumann, what Greek-American scientist developed Monte Carlo methods? With W.K. Hastings, this Los Alamos scientist names a Markov chain Monte Carlo algorithm that is often used to understand the Ising model.
Pass.
Tim?
Pass.
Ian?
Pass.
Oliver?
Pass.
That is Nicholas Metropolis of the Hastings Metropolis algorithm. So,
Belter of a name.
yes. Probably was Mitropoulos at some point.
Right.
Question 1 for Oliver. During the 1998 Tour de France, the Festina team's extensive doping brought shame to their namesake brand, which sold what luxury goods? Prominent French Open sponsor Longines also makes these items.
Wristwatches, timepieces.
Correct. Question 2. In golf, what term describes a long-range putt, where the aim is to get the ball as close to the hole as possible, rather than to sink it?
Sorry. No. Pass.
Tim?
Dormy?
Wrong. Ian?
Lag.
Correct. A lag putt. Not to be confused with stream lag. And question 3 for Oliver. What French author did not write prefaces? A fact often interpreted to mean that he avoided addressing the reader. This author of the unfinished poem for Anatole's Tomb also wrote The Afternoon of a Faun.
Baudelaire.
Wrong. Jacob?
Is it Maeterlinck?
Wrong. Tim?
Fuck.
Pass.
Ian?
Mallarmé?
Correct. Stefan.
Yeah.
My of course. Yep.
So, question 1 for Tim. Many films can be summarized by a single snippet of dialogue. In which 1970s film does a character say, "Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You've got to tell them, you've got to tell them"?
Soylent Green?
Correct. Question 2. What Kenyan woman is the reigning Olympic champion in the 5,000 meters? She also won the silver medal in the 10,000 meters in Rio and achieved the 5,000, 10,000 meters double at the 2011 World Championships. Ten seconds.
Koske?
Wrong. Jacob?
Pass.
Oliver?
Pass.
Ian?
Pass.
That is Vivian Cheriot. And
Yep.
question 3 for Tim. In the early 14th century, the Knights Templar were accused of worshipping what cultic deity? An 1856 drawing by Eliphas Levi linked this androgynous deity with the sabbatic goat.
Baal?
Wrong. Jacob?
Pass.
Oliver?
Pass.
Ian?
And me.
That is Baphomet.
Oh.
Yeah, damn it.
And question 1 for Ian. A failure at launch. The Power Glove was an accessory controller for what game console? Known as the Famicom in Japan, this console was the first to include a directional pad on its controller.
Mega Drive.
Wrong. Jacob?
It's the NES, right?
Correct. NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. Question 2 for Ian. Trees of the genus Rhizophora, or Rhizophora, form a central part of what sort of habitat? The proboscis monkey, mud skipper, and archerfish are typical animals found in this sort of brackish environment. Sorry, brackish habitat.
Mangrove?
Correct. And last question of the round. In the documentary Anti-Fashion, what reclusive Belgian designer can briefly be seen in the atelier of Jean-Paul Gaultier? This designer left his namesake fashion house in 2009, after which his first name was dropped from the brand name.
I've been told this. Oh dear. Roasting?
Could you say again, sorry?
Roasting?
Wrong. Oliver?
Margila.
Correct. Martin Margiela, yep. After which Maison Martin Margiela became Maison Margiela. So after one round, we have Oliver and Ian on 3 points each, Jacob on 2, Tim on 1. 2 bonus attempts from Jacob, Oliver, and Ian. 1 from Tim. Round 2, question 1 for Jacob. The anthropologist David Graeber wrote a book describing bureaucracy as what sort of place of rules. The Dutch historian Rutger Bregman argued for UBI and open borders in a book describing this sort of place for realists.
Utopia?
Correct. Utopia is in utopia of rules, and utopia for realists. Question 2 for Jacob. From 1981 to 1984, the Tour de France, all Tours of France, were won by the team sponsored by what car manufacturer? The Espace and the Twingo were among the popular cars produced by this company in the 1980s and 90s.
Fiat?
Wrong. Tim?
Pass.
Oliver?
Renault.
Correct. Renault Espace and Renault Twingo and the Renault cycling team. And question 3 for Jacob. With her victory in the 800 meters in Beijing, who became the first Kenyan woman to win an Olympic gold medal? The only women faster than her over 800 meters set their potentially dubious times during the 1980s.
Pass.
Tim?
Gelamo.
Correct. Pamela
Oh,
Gelimo.
very nice.
Good work, Tim.
And question 1 for Oliver. Home to many tourist traps, what historic road is at the center of the French Quarter of New Orleans? This thoroughfare connects Canal Street to Esplanade Avenue.
Basin Street.
Wrong. And hands on screen, Jake, if you can. Yeah, cheers. Tim?
Bourbon Street.
Correct, Bourbon Street. Yeah. All right. No worries, thanks, Jacob. And correct, Bourbon Street is the historic street in New Orleans. Question 2 for Oliver. Joe Brady and Dan Curley were held in Kilmainham jail for their participation in what event of 1882? Letters forged by Richard Pigott accused Charles Parnell of supporting this event.
Pass.
Ian?
Phoenix Park killings, basically.
Correct. The Phoenix Park murders, yeah, that's fine. But Phoenix Park killings is a acceptable answer. And question 3 for Oliver. As a result of the accusations of Baphomet worship, what final Grand Master of the Knights Templar was burned at the stake in 1314?
Pass.
Jacob?
Jacques de Molay.
Correct. Jacques de Molay was the final Grand Master of the Knights Templar. And question 1 for Tim. Dying of an opioid overdose, Mac Daddy formed what hip-hop duo with fellow rapper Daddy Mac? Among other things, this duo was known for wearing their clothes backwards.
Pass.
Ian?
Crisscross.
Correct. Criss Cross. Question 2 for Tim. Nintendo partnered with both Sony and Philips to create versions of the SNES that were compatible with what technology? The success of the PlayStation is often attributed to its compatibility with this technology, while the Nintendo 64 used a cartridge that was more expensive and harder to pirate.
Discs.
Prompt?
Disk drives.
Wrong. Jacob?
Do you want like CD?
Yeah, CD.
Oh.
Sorry, Tim.
And question 2. Question 3 for Tim. Or you can, question 3 for Tim. Oops. Did not kill the question. Who directed the 2008 film Dogtooth, in which a couple prevent their 2 daughters from learning about the outside world?
Lanthimos.
Correct, Yorgos Lanthimos. And question 1 for Ian. In 1936, which German expatriate proved the existence of a phase transition in the 2D icing model? With Otto Frisch, this namesake of a form of distortion in 1D crystal lattices, authored a memorandum explaining how an atomic bomb could be made with uranium-235.
Han?
Sorry?
Han?
Wrong. Oliver?
Pass.
Tim?
Pass.
Jacob?
Pass.
That is Rudolf Pales, is in the Frisch Pales memorandum.
Good. It wasn't the other one I was thinking of.
Question 2 for Ian. In golf, what multiple word term refers to a shot, typically made near the green, where the player uses a lower lofted club so that the ball rolls along the ground for most of its journey?
I'd call it a chip and run.
And then you'd be correct.
Sorry.
And final
That
question.
sort of shot always seems sort of slightly arbitrary what they call it to me.
Yeah. Yes, there, you could also have said pitch and run or chunk and run, but chip and run is perfectly fine. And final question of the round. What French author avoided prefaces in his early career, in his early works like Fate Gallant, but, after converting to Catholicism, praised the reader in his work Liturgie intime? This symbolist poet wrote Clair de Lune.
Claire de Lune. No, that's not right.
10 seconds. No. Jacob,
Apollinaire.
can you keep...
Apollinaire, but that's wrong.
Wrong. Oliver?
Pass.
Tim?
Larry.
Wrong. Jacob?
That was my guess. Pass.
It's Verlaine.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
So, after 2 rounds, we've got Ian on 6, Jacob on 5, Oliver and Tim on 4. Everyone with 4 bonus attempts, except Oliver, is on 3. So, game is still very, very close. All sorts of things to play for. Going into round 3, question 1 for Jacob. The Visual Memory Unit was a second screen device released for which 1998 Sega console? This console was the first to have a built-in modular modem for online play.
Genesis.
Wrong. Oliver?
The Dreamcast.
Correct. Question 2 for Jacob. Dreamcast is correct. Question 2 for Jacob. Which road in Beverly Hills links Sunset Boulevard with Beverwill Drive? Fashion icons are commemorated on the Walk of Style, found on this expensive shopping street.
Rodeo Drive.
Correct. Rodeo Drive. And question 3 for Jacob. In which 1970s film does a character say, Joanna is a very unhappy woman, and it took a lot of courage to walk out this door? To which another replies, how much courage does it take to walk out on your kid?
Crap. Um,
10 seconds.
Pass.
Oliver?
Kramer versus Kramer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Kramer versus Kramer. And Oliver, it's question 1 for you now. Members of the order Scleractinia form a central part of what sort of habitat? Parrotfish and crown-of-thorns starfish both consume parts of this habitat before excreting it as sand.
Coral reefs.
Correct. Coral reefs. Question 2 for Oliver. David Graeber gained public attention in 2011 for his history of the first 5,000 years of what economic concept? In the book, Graeber argues that this title concept and its opposite idea predate the notion of money.
Capitalism.
Wrong. Tim?
Debt.
Correct. Debt. The first 5,000 years.
Oh yeah, nice.
And question 3 for Oliver. Building on the work of Peierls, what Norwegian-American scientist provided a formal solution to the 2D square lattice icing model? This man's namesake reciprocal relations are sometimes described as the fourth law of thermodynamics.
Janssen.
Wrong. Ian?
Pass.
Jacob?
Pass.
Tim?
Pass.
That is Lars Onsager. I guess we can't all have been there for George Caulfield's legendary Onsager reciprocal relations buzz. And question
That's
one.
kind of vague.
Question 1 for Tim now. What barrister and poet was executed at Kilmainham Jail in 1916? During the Easter Rising, this man recited the proclamation of the Irish Republic outside the General Post Office.
Connolly.
Wrong. Ian?
No, pass.
Jacob?
Hadrag Pierce.
Correct.
Very impressive.
Yeah, Patrick Pearce. Padraig to his Freds, I'm sure. Question 2 for Tim. In golf, what type of chip shot involves opening the face of a wedge so that the ball travels with a high arc, usually to clear a hazard?
Oh no, that's not.
Loft.
Wrong. Ian?
Flop shot.
Correct. Fly. And question 3 for Tim.
Can I just be a nuisance?
Yeah.
Did Tim's signal break up a bit there, or did mine?
I think it was yours. I didn't notice anything for Tim, and I noticed you.
Okay,
saying
well, here's hoping it recovers.
yeah, no worries. We can pause for a sec if anything happens. But does it seem all good for you now?
Yeah, that's,
Okay,
sorry,
cool.
Tim, to interrupt your
All good.
questions.
No worries. I hadn't started reading the question yet. So.
Sorry about the beeping too. I think there's a truck of some kind outside my window.
I haven't been able to hear that either, so
Oh,
everyone's
okay.
apologising for non-issues, so that's the best kind of thing to have to apologise for. Question 3 for Tim. The documentary Anti-Fashion features an interview with what Belgian designer from the generation after the Antwerp Six? Noted for his garish sneakers, designed in collaboration with Adidas, this former creative director of Jill Sander now co-directs Prada with Miuccia Prada.
No, pass.
Ian?
Pass.
Jacob?
Pass.
Oliver?
Oh, no, pass.
That is Raph Simmons.
That's the one I was told about.
Yeah, recommend looking up the sneakers. Question 1 for Ian. Which Kenyan athlete is the reigning Olympic champion in the women's 1500 meters? Despite setting the national record in the 1500 meters at the 2019 World Championships, she failed to defend her title against the Salazar-coached Sifan Hassan.
Oh, yeah. Uh, Jalimo.
Wrong. Jacob?
Pass.
Oliver?
Pass.
Tim?
Pass.
That is Faith Kipyagon.
Yeah. Like,
So bad at Kenyan names.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's expecting to be updating their Olympic knowledge to 2020 by now, so
Yeah.
2016 it's still the most recent. Anyway, question 2 for Ian. Dying of an opioid overdose in 2017. What rapper released the posthumous 2018 album Come Over When You're Sober Part 2? This heavily tattooed white rapper was a member of Goth Boy Clique, an emo rap collective.
Pass.
Jacob?
Lil Peep.
Correct. I could also have accepted Gustav Elijah Air. But yes, Lil Peep's the answer. And question 3, and final question of the round for Ian. Who directed the 1999 film Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, in which Forrest Whitaker played the title Hagakure-inspired assassin? This American also directed the Palme d'Or-winning film Patterson.
Patterson. Oh. Ghost Dog. Might as well say something. Jarmusch.
Correct, Jim Jarmusch.
Good work.
Really?
Yeah.
Good
Wow.
grief, where did that come from?
They're both really the sort of film that you have no idea who directed, even though you might have seen them or know about them. But yes,
Very nearly just said pass there. Oh, that was lucky.
So that puts us with a tie going into round 4, with Jacob and Ian both on 8, Oliver just behind on 7, Tim on 5, 6 bonus attempts from Jacob, and 5 each from Oliver, Tim, and Ian. So things remain very, very close. Plenty of scary quads to come for everyone. Round 4, question 1 for Jacob. Members of the order Laminariales form a central part of what sort of marine habitat? Giant sea otters eat purple sea urchins, which destroy these habitats by consuming their holdfasts.
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So, members of the order Laminariales form a central part of what sort of marine habitats? Giant sea otters eat purple sea urchins, which destroy these habitats by consuming their holdfasts.
So, kelp forests?
Correct, kelp forests. Question 2 for Jacob. In his 1903 preface to an 1884 novel, what French author lamented the pain of rereading his own work? This author attacked the naturalism of his contemporaries in that novel, A Rebord.
Oh, Joris Karl Huysmans?
Correct. Yeah, Huysmans or Heismans, I'm not really sure, but certainly the right person. And question 3 for you, Jacob. Dying of an opioid overdose in 2019. What Chicago rapper included the hit single Lucid Dreams on his debut studio album, Goodbye and Good Riddance?
Juice WRLD?
Correct, or Gerard Higgins. I think that is the first own questions clean sweep we've had so far, so well done for 3 for 3 there, Jacob.
Thanks.
Question 1 for Oliver. Translating as Dog's Love, or more idiomatically, Love's a Bitch, the 2000 film Amores Perros was the debut work by what director?
Iñárritu.
Correct. Question 2, Oliver. In which 1970s film does a character say, "Forget the myths the media's created about the White House. The truth is, these are not very bright guys, and things got out of hand"?
All the President's Men.
Correct. And question 3 for Oliver. Prominently featured in the documentary Anti-Fashion, what Japanese designer created the Y3 line for Adidas? He designed the kit worn by New Zealand at the 2019 Rugby World Cup.
Yamamoto.
Correct, Yohji Yamamoto. Well, clearly Yep, so that's a good round so far. Every question been answered by an own player. See how long this continues. Question 1 for Tim. When Alberto Contador won his first Tour de France and Lance Armstrong won his last, they were both part of a team named for which television channel? David Zaslav founded this popular channel, initially known for broadcasting nature documentaries.
Discovery Channel.
Correct. Question 2 for Tim. With Gregory Wannier, which Dutch physicist names a duality used to relate the free energy between high and low temperature Ising models? With Wenzel and Briouan, this man names an approximation used to solve the Schrödinger equation.
Pass.
Ian?
Same.
Oliver?
Pass.
Jacob?
Pass.
That is Hans Kramers. And question 3 for Tim. In 2018, David Graeber published a theory of what sort of jobs? It's not sophistry, but the philosopher Harry Frankfurt used this word to describe a communication that tries to persuade without regard for truth.
Bullshit.
Correct. Bullshit jobs or on bullshit. And question 1 for Ian.
Mm-hmm.
With the assistance of the civil servant Guillaume de Nogaret, what French king brought the charges against the Knights Templar in the early 14th century? This king strong-armed Pope Clement V into backing his anti-Templar Inquisition.
Philip II.
Wrong. Oliver?
Pass.
Tim?
Pass.
Jacob?
Philip IV.
Correct.
Fourth.
Philip IV or Philip V.
It was
Question 2 for Ian. What Irish Republican smuggled weapons on his boat Asgard, which was later dry-docked in Kilmainham jail? He wrote about naval exploits in the novel The Riddle of the Sands, and his son of the same name served as both Taoiseach and President of Ireland in the 1970s.
Childers.
Correct, Erskine Childers. And final question of the round for Ian. What San Francisco street links the Presidio to the Embarcadero? As it passes through Russian Hill, this street makes 8 characteristic hairpin turns.
Knew you were going to say that. Lombard.
Correct, Lombard Street.
good work.
Damn you, Ian.
So going into round 5, we've got Jacob on 12 points and 7 bonus attempts. Oliver and Ian on 10 points and 5 bonus attempts. Tim with 7 and 5. So Jacob with a 2-point lead, and Oliver and Ian tied in second, just 2 points behind, with just 12 main questions remaining. So round 5, question 1 for Jacob. Sometimes called a knockdown, what golf shot employs a deliberately low trajectory, often to avoid trees or high winds?
Pass.
Oliver?
Pass.
Tim?
Pass.
Ian?
Punch.
Correct, a punch.
Good work.
Yeah. I think that completes. Does that complete the
I
musketeer?
think so.
think that might be the
Anything
first.
keeping me in it, isn't it?
Question 2 for Jacob. Alongside Hugues de Payenne, who co-wrote the Latin rule of the Knights Templar at the Council of Troyes? This saint was the subject of a miracle in which the Virgin Mary lactated into his mouth.
Could you just repeat the whole thing?
So, alongside Hugues de Payenne, who co-wrote the Latin rule of the Knights Templar at the Council of Troyes? This saint was the subject of a miracle in which the Virgin Mary lactated into his mouth.
Bernard of Clairvaux.
Correct, Bernard.
Oh shit! Nice.
Saint Bernard.
Very awesome.
And question 3 for Jacob. The documentary Anti-Fashion features several interviews with what American designer, who produces the Dark Shadow label. Recognizable for his black draped clothes, this designer of iconic drop crotch shorts created the Geo Basket sneaker.
Wang.
Wrong. Oliver?
Rick Owens.
Correct. Rick
Good one.
Owens. Question 1 for Oliver. Dying of an opioid overdose in 2018, what rapper recorded the posthumous 2020 album Circles? He rapped about self-care on Swimming, the last album he released in his lifetime.
No. XXX Tentacion.
Wrong. Tim?
Mac Miller.
Correct. Mac Miller.
very
Born
good.
Malcolm James McCormick. Question 2 for Oliver. Racing under the Bahraini flag, what Kenyan-born runner won the 3,000 meters steeplechase at the Rio Olympics? She was suspended in 2018 after testing positive for EPO.
Guy.
Wrong. Tim?
Jebbet.
Correct. Ruth Jebbet. And question 3 for Oliver. What American company produced the ill-fated Lynx, the first handheld game console with a color LCD? This company had success with a console that popularized plug-in cartridges, but it lost out to Nintendo and Sega with the failure of its Jaguar console.
Atari.
Correct.
Oh, boy.
So Atari is correct, the American games company. And question 1 for Tim. Description acceptable. Grenadiers, Dumbo octopuses, and cusk eels are among the species found in what general type of marine environment? Marine snow is a central source of energy in this aphotic environment.
The bottom of the sea or
Yeah.
benthic area.
I'm going to say wrong. Ian?
Ocean floor?
Wrong. Oliver?
Well,
The Hadal Zone.
Correct. But I was just going to check that with the adjudicators.
I think that's, what did he say? I think that seems fine.
Yeah, it was a benthic / bottom of the sea. It's just that, it doesn't, because it has to be technically like deep sea, but benthic. I'm going to check benthic zone.
I'll ask the Oracle on this one.
We'll
I
just
thought benthic implied like less depth.
Maybe.
yeah, we'll just check. Benthic is certainly very deep. Is the lowest level of body of water. So I think having said benthic, it might be fine. But we'll pause and adjudicate rather than continue.
Yeah, so I think bottom of the sea is fine.
Okay.
But I'm just double checking.
Alright.
Yeah, okay. I think we're going to take that.
Okay. So
Right.
right. So benthic so yes, that was Tim's question. So benthic was ruled acceptable in the end. So Tim gets it. Thanks for patience, everyone. Question 2 for Tim. In his preface to Les Fleurs du Mal, Charles Baudelaire echoed what mentor of his by calling the reader a hypocrite? As the progenitor of the Parnassian movement, this author of the libretto for the ballet Giselle coined the phrase art for art's sake.
Adam.
Wrong. Ian?
Not a clue. Sorry.
Oliver?
Pass.
Jacob?
Is this who Théophile Gautier is?
That is precisely who Théophile Gautier is.
Nice.
And question 3 for Tim. The Art Institute of Chicago is located on which street? The Palm Olive Building, the Water Tower, and the John Hancock Center are landmarks found on the Magnificent Mile section of this street.
Michigan.
Correct. Michigan Avenue, but Michigan's fine. So going into
Well
the
done.
final three, Jacob's on 14, Oliver on 12, Tim and Ian both on 11. So technically, any result is still possible.
Yeah.
Question 1 for Ian. David Graeber's first book outlined an anthropological theory of what economic concept? Karl Marx discussed the form of this concept, which, together with the use form, constitutes the commodity form of an object.
Didn't really follow that. Labour?
Wrong. Oliver?
Pass.
Tim?
Utility.
Wrong. Jacob?
The value form.
Correct.
You already won, but
Well, there you go.
Congratulations, Jacob.
I know, technically hadn't. I could
No,
have blown
technically
two, and
not. You could've-
Oliver could have caught him.
Yes. So question
see.
2 for Ian. In which 1970s film does a character say, "We've got a fire, and if it was caused by anything you did, I'm going to hang you out to dry, and then I'm going to hang you"?
Towering Inferno?
That is the fiery film, correct? And question 3, final question of the game for Ian. When Luis Ocaña won the 1973 Tour de France, he was wearing the orange jersey of what team? The team took its name from that of a prominent French razor and pen manufacturer.
Bugger. Bic.
Correct. So,
Philip the Fourth. Well done.
so final
Very well played,
scores,
everybody.
15 to Jacob for first place, 13 for Ian for second, 12 for Oliver for third, and 11 for Tim for fourth. Huge congratulations to everyone. Well played. That was an incredibly impressive final.
Super questions as well.
Yes,
Very well read.
yeah,
as well.
yes. I think
Yeah.
everyone got something that was up their
So
alley
sad.
there. Jacob, your lapis lazuli gemstone will be in the post as soon as we're allowed to post things from Britain again. So yes, once again, congratulations to everyone to making the final. You beat possibly the strongest ever, or certainly the strongest ever field assembled in a Mimir tournament, in a head-to-head tournament like this. So no shame in any result here. I noticed that 3 out of the 4 here were in the World Cup. I see competitor Paul Sinner's arm briefly appeared on Oliver's screen. Congratulations. Thanks again to everyone who read and who played, and everyone who's planning to read or play in the Snowdrop League. Once again, I remind you, you can sign up on the website, mimirsworld.co.uk. Once again, congratulations everyone. Thank you again to Camilla, George, and Dowd for their help, for adjudicating on the final question, or on the question relevant, and for writing and editing throughout the season. And once again, congratulations to Jacob, and thanks everyone for tuning in. See you in 6 or 7 weeks, I guess, for the Snowdrop League final. All right.
Thank you.
Well done,
Cheers.
Jacob.
Well played.
You. Thanks.
Well done.
Too.